Right, so I've spoke a lot about blue light, but I haven't really definitively shown how the mechanism is working. I haven't really showed any evidence as to why you should believe me either. Obviously, I've said anecdotally that I've reversed Crohn's and chronic fatigue and depression and some skin problems and that kind of thing. Being mindful of blue light and understanding the circadian mechanism has all been key to all of this. Also explained mitochondria. I've explained how we can use seafood. I've explained why you shouldn't use supplements. And I'm going to be explaining more about how we can use sunlight to heal. But first of all, you need to fully understand why your environment is destroying your biology and how. So this paper here, let me just, hopefully you can see that. Let me just check you can. So this is a paper published in Nature, yeah? We have a chromophore, which is it's basically a photoreceptor in our eyes and in our skin. It's called vitamin A. Okay, so we use vitamin A as a photoreceptor in all of our tissues. So we use it to see. So how I'm seeing now and how you're seeing this video is that light is hitting vitamin A in your eyes, and vitamin A can capture that light in its electrons. So light never interacts with mass, it always moves around mass, it bends around mass, but it interacts with electrons that are circling around the mass, which is protons and neutrons. So electrons are like buzzing round in a cloud, and light interacts with them and it excites them. And when they become excited, they move. And they also emit their own light energy afterwards. So it absorbs the light, gets excited, and then as it calms down, it becomes relaxed. It releases light in a longer spectrum. So usually we see an infrared light release from after an absorption of a shorter wavelength like UV or blue or whatever. So vitamin A is most sensitive to blue light, and there's a reason for this. So all the photoreceptors in our body, obviously for vision, they use different colours of the spectrum, like green and green, red, orange, blue. But for our body clock, which is a non-visual photoreceptor, so that's just a photoreceptor for setting the circadian rhythm, it has no function in how you see. That is also bound to vitamin A. So all photoreceptors in all opsins, they're called, they're like ocular proteins, opsins, they are always bound to vitamin A, and this is through all species, because vitamin A is so sensitive and such a chromophore. It's so it loves light, it always interacts with light. This is why nature uses vitamin A everywhere in all species. So as blue light interacts with this retinal, so retinal is another name for vitamin A, and as light interacts with retinal, retinal is bound to our photoreceptor, to our opsin, which is called melanopsin. This is the key protein for entraining the circadian rhythm. So this does it in the eyes. We also have it in the skin. We also have it in the arteries. So just think, you've got light receptors in your blood vessels, in your subcutaneous fat and skin, and your eyes. If that's not a big enough reason for you to get the fuck outside, then I don't know what is. Nature has purposely put light receptors in your blood vessels and your skin, so you can be out in the sun, being irradiated in your veins, in your subcutaneous fat, by this light, so it constantly knows what time it is. So this paper is basically showing that when blue light, which is the light from your light bulbs, your LEDs, I know it looks white, but the actual frequency, we call it blue. It's about 400 to 500 nanometers of light in terms of the wavelength, if you want to go all scientific. it's just a frequency. So the UV is below it, then it's blue, then it goes green. UV is considered purple, and then yellow, orange, red, and then we have infrared. When we stop seeing infrared and UV, so we only see those ones in the middle, but we don't actually see those colours. We only see them when they're put through a glass prism. It splits out the light. So normally we just see it as white light, which is why you can't tell the difference between one bedroom light and car lights and whatever. So it's not actually the colour that we perceive, it's the actual frequency is why we call it blue. So this blue frequency of light excites vitamin A, and as it does this, it actually can, if the vitamin A becomes free from the melanopsin bond, and humans have one of the weakest melanopsin bonds that is known in all animals. So this is why studies done on rats and mice who have a strong melanopsin bond is irrelevant. This is why studies done on nocturnal animals that are awake at night is totally irrelevant to our biology. So you should never fucking pay attention too much. They can give a good indication, but basing drugs and stuff on mice is completely fucking ridiculous if you ask me. Anyway, so as we can see here, blue light excited retinal, when it's free, can irreversibly change or distort the membranes of cells. Okay, and as this happens, we see an increase in calcium, an excessive cell shape change, and cell death. So that is how blue light can hit your eyes and your skin and your arteries and your fat around your body and cause cell death. Think about that. We live under these lights 24/7, and there's a paper right here explaining how that is completely fucking toxic to everyone, not just me or you, everyone's biology. And basically, depending on which tissue you have the weakest mitochondria, check out my mitochondria video if you want to know what they are, which tissue have the weakest mitochondria and the weakest redox potential is where you're going to go first, and that could be the area that's most light exposed and where you're genetically weakest. So that could be your eyes, which is obviously common. Many people are wearing glasses, they have macular degeneration. It's the exact same effect. Fucking light's coming through and causing cell death in that tissue and causing inflammation. It even says lower down here that in the introduction how just retinal alone, just vitamin A breaking free alone, so not excited by blue light, being maybe broken off by other frequencies, which I'll get to in another time, could basically produce reactive oxygen species, and it basically cytotoxicity and cell death again. So this is a really, really important mechanism to understand. This is how fundamentally blue light is destroying the fucking human race, because there is not one person out there listening to this video who isn't affected by blue light in some way. Because I've just been for a walk with the dogs, and there's car lights irradiating me with blue light. The headlights are blue frequency. Unless you've got red lights like I have in here, your kitchen lights, your bathroom lights, your iPhone, your screen, your computer, the office lights at work, the lights in the hairdressers, the lights in the fucking gym, all across the board are causing this effect. So just let that sink in for a few seconds. You now realise you live in a world and live in an industrialised, technology-based economy, which is driven to supply you with more and more technology and faster and better electrical products that produce these frequencies of light that are breaking your cells down and destroying them by the second. And that is exactly what this paper is saying. It's not my opinion. This is Mother Nature and nature's opinion. They're telling you exactly what's going on there. But the problem is this got published in 5th of July 2018, and it'll probably get ignored by most of science, and doctors won't pay attention to it for probably another 50, 60 years. So what are you going to do to combat this? How are you going to get around it? You know, this is a huge fucking problem, and I'm speaking calmly right now, but I want to be screaming in your face right now. Listen to what I've just said. Your fucking bathroom light is causing a damaging effect on your body.